Everyone's always looking for the next best thing in fountain pen friendly paper. For a long time it was Tomoe River, and we all know that Tomoe River has gone through a few ups and downs in the last few years. So we're all looking for that new version of a paper that will fulfill our needs, if you will. Now, last year I was reviewing the Me Plus journal that I have, and I was really excited about the paper, and I saw it was Crena Spark paper, and I'd seen good reports about this paper online, and it did not disappoint. And then recently I was going through the Soe and Soe website, which is an Australian online retailer, and found that they stock some traveller's notebook size journals in the Crena paper. So I got two of those to show you today. Two different weights with different line rules, all that kind of thing. I'm going to put it through some ink tests and all those kinds of things and see how it performs. And we'll compare that to standard Tomoe River paper in the process. So please like and subscribe, hit the notifications button, and consider becoming a member of this channel, where for a small monthly fee you'll get early access to my videos, priority comments, and eventually some members only Q&As. But in the meantime, let's check out Crena Paper and see how it performs. So here is the Me Plus, which I used with the Crena paper in it. You can see Spark paper written there, so it's Crena Spark, and it says Crena on the other side. And you can see this is a writing sample from a previous video about it. You can see that it's lightweight paper, you know, and there's a lot of show through, but not a lot really bleeds through, which is really great to see. I wanted to explore this paper a little bit more, but I am sort of don't have a whole lot of this paper left in this format. So I went searching for where I could get it. And I found that Soe and Soe, the wonderful online Australian retailer, stocks this paper and some refills that may just do the trick here and easier to get here in Australia. The Me Plus ones are amazing, particularly like the formatted, you know, sort of inserts and things you can get, the fold out, bifold, trifold, things like that. They're wonderful. Full review of that will be linked in the video description here. But what I found myself using most was this format of paper. But I didn't get that to start with. What I got were these two, which are Cafe Crena, the Note Light for Traveller's Notebooks. These are Traveller's Notebook size notebooks. And so what I wanted to do was primarily test the paper, because there are two kinds of paper here. There's the 50 GSM paper, and then the 80 GSM paper. Now I did a little members only video where I sort of tested them out with first time here with my Diamine Oxford Blue, but I have done a more extensive writing test and some information in both of these. So as I said, these are traveler's size A5 slim, so they're 210 by 110, so 210 by 110. I've got you zoomed in a little close here to show you fully open, but I wanted to show the actual quality of the paper. So starting with this one, this is the Crena Paper White Olive, which is the travel size one, which has 64 pages of 84 GSM paper. This is a 4mm grid. It's called the Note Light TN. And as I said, this is from Soe and Soe in Australia, where this cost $8.50 Australian. So this actually comes in a little cheaper from Soe and Soe, as like the traveler's notebook equivalent comes in from other retailers. It is made in China by the Ningbo Lihi Stationery Co. Limited. So what I've done in each of these is a writing sample, where I've used my Aurora Optima with Aurora Black. I've got my Pilot Custom 845 with Wearing All Great Gatsby. I've got the Pilot Custom Urushi Medium with Pilot Iroshizuku Syoro. I've got my Wingback fountain pen with the medium nib and Diamine Oxford Blue. The Pilot Sterling Medium with Pilot Iroshizuku Shinkai. And then I have here like a Lamy Jetstream ballpoint, highlighter, a Uniball Zento 0.5, a Uniball Micro Deluxe, the Lamy Roll Ink, which is a Safari that uses the Lamy ink cartridge, with Lamy Violet Blackberry. Then I've got Tom Studio 0.3 on the Lumos, the 0.8 on the Lumos, a 0.5 mechanical pencil with an eraser test, a Pentel Energel 07, and a Sharpie. Now, I've done the same writing tests on both of these books. And so you can see on the front, they all look really nice. We're getting a little bit of sheen on a couple of those things, like hits of sheen. I wouldn't say like they're not sheening like over the top. And Oxford Blue can pick up quite a bit of sheen. So we're not getting any of that, but we're getting really solid performance. Eraser was fine. Highlighter there is fine. And then on the back, because this is 84 GSM and a high quality, high weave paper, nothing is coming through. The Sharpie is coming through a tiny bit, but even that's a pretty decent performance, but nothing else. And even the ghosting is relatively low. This is quite a white paper. Like in comparison to the other paper I have here, which is slightly off-white, you can see just how white this is. And it's vibrant, and the inks pop on it. They look great. This, I should say, is a Pilot 823 with Diamine Rosewood in it. And if we look at the reverse of that, once again, nothing has come through. So everything's performing well. I'm going to put it to a little bit of a test here. Here I have my Santini Nonagon with the Architect grind on it and Dominant Industry the Moon ink. So we have the Santini. Nonagon with an Architect grind, and I'll just put DI for Dominant Industry the Moon. So being an Architect nib, it has like narrow downstrokes and broader cross strokes, which when you put it on the right angle, or the correct angle, I should say, for a left-handed writer, we get a little bit of a similar sort of feel in our writing to what a right-hander gets with a stub or italic nib. And so that's why I love Architect nibs. But you can see that one puts down quite a lot of ink. And if we look at the reverse now of that, nothing, not even where I sort of swatched the ink a little heavier, nothing at all. That is remarkable paper. Let's have a quick look at the 50 GSM version. So this is Cafe Crena Paper Spark. So this one's labeled as Spark paper. Same size, 210 by 110 millimeters, so A5 Slim or Traveler's Notebook size. And there are the smaller versions as well, I should say. It's 128 pages of 50 GSM paper. It's blank, it's a travel note. And this is from Soe and Soe, once again, $8.50. Made in China by the same company. Same writing instruments, everything performing really nicely, but a little bit more sheen. Even there from the roll ink with that violet blackberry ink. A bit more sheen there on the Shinkai, a bit more on the Oxford Blue, and even on the Sure Roll there, which is really lovely to see. Nothing is coming through. Like, there's the Diamine Oxford Blue from the previous test, and you can see through for sure, but everything's performing quite well here. Let's just do this little writing test with the Santini here. So this paper is a little smoother than the higher grade paper. This is more like what you would expect from your old Tomoe River paper. And for that, I've actually also pulled up a Tomoe River notebook here. This is a 52 GSM Tomoe River paper. This is a Paper Mind notebook, which is a beautiful book and a great way of, showing how inks perform. And so what I thought I would do is I thought I would just do a writing sample on here also, while that other one dries, with the Santini. Beautiful paper to write on. Like, genuinely gorgeous paper. We all know that. But how did this one fare? So as I said, nothing, we got some nice sheen and things sort of coming through. That ink is still drying there. So it's really sitting on the top. It's quite a wet pen. So certainly longer dry time on this paper than the 84 GSM. As I said, I think this feels like a slightly higher weave, as it's much more like the old Tomoe River. But if we look at the reverse here, there is ghosting. There's no bleed. Sharpie has bled a little bit, as you would expect, but there's no bleed from anything else. But we are getting that typical Tomoe River style show through here. But everything looks amazing. There's shading, there's sheen, there's no feathering, there's no real line, you know, sort of spread or anything like that. It holds tight. It does a really, really lovely job here. And I believe this is the same paper here that was in the Me Plus journal. Once again, Santini. So if we pull up the nice Tomoe River paper and the Crena paper here in the Me Plus, and then the Crena paper here, see if we can get all of those writing samples on screen at the one time. There we go. You can see everything looks pretty similar. Line widths are all similar. So the style of shading and sheen is similar book to book. So, you know, if you're after an alternative for your Tomoe River paper, this is not a bad option. As I said, there's no bleed through. There's a little bit of quite a lot of ghosting. Writing on both sides of this page will be a little bit more tricky. Same on the the notebook paper here for the Me Plus. It's got the same kind of effect. And even on the Tomoe River, same sort of thing. But if we look at the reverse of these two, you know, they're not dissimilar in the amount of ghosting and certainly in the quality of the lack, I should say, of bleed. So, Crena paper. What do I think? Well, is it the replacement we're looking for Tomoe River? I think it's a good option. I would love to see it available more, and by that I mean not just having to go through in Australia like somewhere like Soe and Soe, a great retailer, but would love to see it more widely available worldwide. I'd love to see more formats of it. I'd love to see a few more variations on things where possible. But generally speaking, you're getting really high quality paper for a relatively low price. And it's great to see brands like Me Plus using it. And these particular sort of notebooks here, I'm really keen to see more from this paper. I enjoyed it a lot. I particularly enjoy the feel of writing on the lighter weight paper, but the lack of ghosting and still that beautiful performance there from the slightly higher weight paper, the 84 GSM, like that's quite special. That's really great, and it's affordable. So head over to Soe and Soe if you're in Australia. Tell them I said hi, and check out Crena paper for yourself. If you use Crena paper, the Spark, or any of their versions of their paper, I would love to know what you think. I don't have anything to complain about at this point. I'm quite happy with it. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about this paper. So thank you for watching today's video. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notifications button, and please consider becoming a member of this channel. In the meantime, enjoy your pens, your writing, and I'll talk to you soon.